Oh, it's all good. Get the chat up. Hello, second channel. Sure to hear me. Let's see. Well, it's good on my end. How does it sound? Oh no. Let's have a look. On my end, how does it sound? Test, 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 oh, no. Test. Come on, I'm trying to watch myself say this. No, my volume was off. Alright, say it. Hello, Spooky Kitty, thanks for joining. Come on, I'm trying to watch myself say this. Alright, that sounds fun. Alright, everything looks good. Let's just stick this here. Get this shit up. Alright, so obviously I'm going to wait for a bit more people to join. But yeah, hey everyone who's already here. Thanks for the support on the channel recently. Been pretty sick. Gonna hit 40k way quicker than I thought. I was literally saying this on my videos. Let's hit 40k by my birthday, which is in November. And now it's like I could like theoretically hit it this week if the uploads are good. I got some good ideas. One okay idea, two good ideas. Yeah, but yeah, it should be okay. But yeah, appreciate people liking this style of content that I've been putting out. Damn, Jimmy Dore is just such a fucking lunatic, man. Just like I follow him on Twitter just for like the drama. The stuff that I get put up, the stuff that he's dying on, like the hills he's dying on right now, are so fucking stupid. I'm just gonna get my phone charger quick. Also, just chatting while we're starting. Respect to like live streamers, because I was thinking I would not have the energy to stream every day. Spooky Kitty, what's 9gag? I've heard of it, but I don't really know what it is. So I want to go up quick. Show people. I was on the Humanist Report on Wednesday, which was fun. Should get the whole stream maybe. It's a nice channel. Mike's a super nice guy. Always been helpful, like behind the scenes with stuff I've been asking him. Do you not want to talk about anything to do with the health crisis? So we can talk about transgender people. There I am. In all my glory. I don't know if you guys know any of these other people. Give Mike the ad revenue. But yeah, like in terms of my channel, I'm just like I don't really have a plan of videos at the moment, which is not like me. I normally have quite a concrete plan of what I want to do. I'm kind of just going with it at the moment, following the content of what people like, I guess. Sorry, I'm blocking out Amy's face here. I don't want to do that. Although it's not really changing. One sec. Alright, that's the stream that I was on. Might play you some of it. But Monday stream. Hey folks. Oh shit, yeah, Katie. You're totally right. I just absolutely forgot about that. It is Monday. And I normally do it on Tuesday. Yeah, basically I've been working really hard on the channel lately in terms of like, so you see that Anita Sarkeesian and no, the Vaush debate's tomorrow, I think. In terms of the Anita Sarkeesian and John Tron video, like obviously require like quite a lot of research compared to like not my old content, just like the usual style of content I do, because I've got to watch videos, like timestamp, like write notes and everything. And I had to do that for 4 videos. So I was up all Thursday. Wait, what was the order of last week? Thursday? Did I upload on Thursday? I uploaded Thursday, and then I stayed up afterwards making all these notes. And then because it wouldn't monetize the video, and my Anita Sarkeesian video didn't get monetized, which was really, really annoying, because it's like, how does the JonTron one get monetized, but the one talking about like feminism doesn't? It's just, YouTube is so weird. Anyway, I was up all night doing that. It just took me forever to make that video, like maybe like 7 or 8 hours straight. It was so tiring. So I woke up today and I was like, what the hell do I make a video about? And I was like, the one I got in my head is about the amazing atheist guy, but I actually need to watch a bunch of his videos and watch his interview with Vaush. So I'm going to do that after this stream. But I was like, I got no idea. Like, one I want to do is about Activision Blizzard being run by people who ran like the Bush administration and Trump administration. That's one. And then I maybe, if this Charlie Kirk Vaush debate is like spicy, maybe I'll like review it a bit, but try and make like a broader thing about critical race theory. And then that's pretty much it for the week. And hopefully, if these videos do well, we'll be on 40k by Sunday, which I'm hoping. Because I was only on like 36k last Friday. Not the Friday just gone, last Friday. So two Fridays ago. So my channel's been doing really well lately. Your last video was great, Cav. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate it. I posted your video about Captain America, and it's clear none of the right wingers actually watched it. It's a meme site. Yeah, the thing is, I was thinking this. I often see my videos like shared on like right wing like meme pages, and it's just about the title. Well, they don't realize. Oh, okay. Of course, none of them actually watch it because I think I could change people's minds if they did. But a lot of the times, titles for videos are just bait. Like, I'm trying to get you to click the video. And okay, here's the difference. So someone said this on my Discord. They were like, that's clickbait. And I don't think my titles are clickbait because I don't think my titles are misleading or disingenuous or fake. My titles are often like more clicky and over the top. But I don't think if you go on my channel and look at my videos, you'll think, oh, like, he lied on the title and the video's completely different from what he wrote in the title and stuff. Sorry, reading some comments. Green Day Blink fan says, please keep working on your channel for better and worse. You're the kind of dude my friend will listen to. I hate that they immediately won't take someone like ContraPoint seriously. Oh, that sucks. But what I hope with my channel, I don't know what you mean by that. Hopefully you don't mean because ContraPoints is trans, but I suspect you might. But who knows? Like ContraPoints, Philosophy Tube, H Bomber Guy, Curio, a couple others. Like they're like great video essay channels, but in terms of like what I see my channel as, I see it as like a sort of bridge between like Vaush, sort of like Vaush and them, in the sense that Vaush and Hassan upload every single day, multiple times, and like debates and long streams and stuff. So that's like a very like fast moving pace of content. Like it's what's the word for it? It's like you'll keep I don't know. It's just a good way to keep people engaged. It's like it's just like Twitter on YouTube. Like it's the news cycle so quick and they cover it all. Whereas my videos are like way more planned in that like I write stuff down. I obviously edit a video. It's not like me sitting on stream and then dumping like a 2-hour stream on YouTube, which is fine. I got no problem with that. But I upload enough and like I'm responsive enough in terms of like the topics I do that I hope I'm like sort of like the bridge between something that's like every single day and something that's like longer form. And of course I do longer form content, like video essay types or like longer, like that Anita Sarkeesian one was only 40 minutes, JonTron one was 40 minutes. So I do these longer ones, and then my video game essays are normally pretty long and very scripted as well. So I have like that ability to be more flexible. So like I'm hoping it's like a nice middle ground between like I'm gonna react to everything on the internet on one channel like Hassan and Vaush, and then there's like me where like I'll make reactionary topics, but I'll try and put them in like a broader narrative. Like my right wing scams one was about the Freedom Phone, which all these guys covered because I saw Vaush cover it. I think I saw Hassan cover it. But my video was about like the history of like right wing scams while talking about it. So I hope it's like a bit of a broader context for these issues. Katie, I watched the Dystopian Times video. Great job. Thanks so much. I'm glad you watched it. Yeah, like okay. Anyone else in the chat? Katie said I did a good job. So, and did anyone else watch it? And what did they think? I think I didn't talk a lot during the landlord bit. I think I did pretty well on the last thing. Although I would never upload these videos to my own channel because of what they're talking about. I'm too scared. Mike's very brave. I might upload the one about trans rights to to my second channel. Nolan, thank you so much for the $5. Super appreciate it. Clickbait titles. Sounds like capitalism. Well, in a sense, it's more about like marketing because YouTube, as loyal as like especially you guys who come to live streams, as loyal as you guys are, and you'll like of course watch my stuff, not no matter what, but like I don't need to clickbait it. In terms of like the wider YouTube scene, I'm obviously competing for people's time. So you've got to click, like the thing is, if you guys saw my Grimes video, right, I know when people haven't watched the video because they're talking about the Starling quote, which I actually talk about at the end, saying like she didn't mean it and she explained why she said it and stuff. But I know because of that title, generally other people are clicking the video because it's like, what the hell, Grimes quoted Stalin in the year bit, and she did do that. But I explained what she says she meant by it. But I can see people just come in and say like, oh, like Stalin to Elon Musk is not much of a jump, or like to be fair, like she didn't mean it. But I know you didn't watch this, but I know you clicked it because of the title. So that's the main thing you got to do with your title. Meow Nyan saying just popped in after watching the Surf TV interview with the guy who wrote the Pim 2 article for Daily Beast. Fascinating stuff. Got to read it yet, Kavernacle? I've actually got it up in the tabs. I might go through it tonight if we have time. I've read some excerpts and stuff. It's pretty crazy. And I was thinking, Tim Pool on his Twitter bio says he's a liberal. In what world is this guy like a liberal in any sense? Literally, and here's a video I'm trying to like make up in my mind. Why is the podcast YouTube scene just pretty much reactionaries and right wingers? Like Joe Rogan is one of them, but he's not even the worst example. There's loads more who get exclusively like right wing people, and I might talk about that tonight if I can think of the people that are in my mind right now. Iron Bowman, only comics I ever read were Watchmen and Calvin and Hobbes. I heard Watchmen went woke. Yeah, Watchmen went woke apparently, according to anti-SJWs, despite the fact it was like always super woke because of Alan Moore writing it. So Jack's saying your format is so much better than the regular lefty streams. You give great context in your videos, lots of info to back up what you say, plus stream to answer questions of the community. Yeah, thanks. I agree. That's what I try and do at least in terms of like, yeah, I want to give the broader context of things and the backgrounds rather than just like reaction content, which is weird because I hit 10k a year ago now, and now I'm nearly 40. And I remember when I shifted my content because I did. It was the first time I covered the furry like Nazi stuff, and people really liked that. And I was like, oh, this is like I used to do like strictly politics pretty much. Like I'd cover news, I'd cover Bernie Sanders, AOC, shit like that. But then I did this video and I was like, oh, it's got quite a good response. And I thought, I'm going to do this content now. I'm just going to do like weird niche topics or politics crossing over with like weird internet subcultures. And that's where I've kind of gone from there. But like I said, at the moment, I'm not really thinking about like what my content is. I'm just like, I really like the internet history one. And I was actually talking to my girlfriend because I've told some of you, I'm writing my own book, but I actually thought of another idea for a book in terms of like the political history of YouTube, like maybe like 100 pages or 150-page book, because I was thinking these videos about internet history are actually pretty fun to do, but there's lots of stuff in terms of like the crossover between politics and like YouTube. So like the Young Turks, for example, were the first YouTube partner, and they've been extremely influential on real world politics, especially for like a YouTube channel. And even on the YouTube scene, you obviously have like Dave Rubin and Jimmy Dore and stuff, who like offshoots of the Young Turks, who have been like influential in their own ways. But I think like if you're writing a YouTube history, which I think is actually a good idea for a book, I would really like to write this. I just need to. I've been planning it in my head, but I just don't know the angle I'd go for it. I was thinking you could do it by events, or you could do it by different movements. So like the skeptic movement, something in my head, and it's something I think not so unique to me, but something I think I've pinpointed that I haven't heard many other people pinpoint, is that anti-SJW nerd YouTube channels are the successor to skeptic YouTube channels. And the reason I think that the most is the Quartering used to be a big skeptic. Not that his channel was, but he used to be a massive fan of like Sargon of Akkad, Shoe on Head, and all these skeptic people. He'd go to the conventions with them. This is before he was like a big YouTuber, like maybe 90k subs or whatever. And I think it's super interesting that like and obviously the skeptics, kind of moved in that direction anyway with the anti-feminism crap. But I think it would be interesting to document it like history, because as silly as it might sound to people, these people do have real world impacts on different people. Like Tim Pool is a massive one. His channel is absolutely unhinged, but it's so popular. And think of how much that affects people's politics. And I think we still think of history in terms of the real world. So AOC, even though AOC is of course linked to the Young Turks, does AOC get elected without the Young Turks being created because of things like Justice Democrats of Karl Kalinske and Cenk Uygur? That's an interesting question, but that's one thing. But then you have other stuff all these right-wing things, all this conspiracy shit, which I can't talk about as much if I wrote a book, because simply the YouTube channels who promoted that stuff don't really exist anymore, so they've all been banned. So I think it's as much as I like writing what I started my book on a year ago, I think to really get something that's more marketable, I think I call it the political history of YouTube or something, I think could be really interesting, and it wouldn't have to be really long. I think it could be quite a short book. Michael Brooks wrote a book before he passed away about the intellectual dark web, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro. It's only 90 pages or something. I don't know if any of you guys have read it. I bought it for my girlfriend's dad just because he's quite good with his politics, but he has said some stuff about some atheist people. I'm kind of get away from that a bit. It's out of this book. So yeah, it's just interesting. Let's move on a bit. Explain to me why you dislike Destiny. Well, Destiny supports Kyle Rittenhouse for one thing. Destiny has really bad takes about landlords, because apparently he is a big landlord. Destiny's also said some pretty gross shit lately about transgender people. And he's a capitalist, so I'd have my problems with him anyway, but he's pretty unhinged on Twitter anyway. Did I get any backlash from the Anita video? I didn't get backlash. I got comments saying, and even comments from people who subscribe to me saying, oh, she's crazy, blah, blah, blah. So I just wanted to get into a couple of them. Press the like button. Hey, Veronica. I always do this, but I think Veronica wins today for the oldest subscriber, because Veronica's been around 2 years, I'd say. I can't see Honorless, who's probably my oldest one. Get ready for the new chocolate orange. Yeah, it's I got this one, the last. Need to get a new one. Let's hope it's this weekend, and I can enjoy the weekend. Haven't caught your stream for a while. Yeah, I don't normally stream on a Monday. It's just because I was tired. I think I was explaining this, but I stopped. Yeah, I was just tired. I couldn't think of a video. And then I had football, and I was I can't be bothered. I get so tired after football. I also had to play the whole game today, so I didn't want to come home and make a video. Tim Pool is a liberal in the sense that he's a shit lib who's yet to overcome the mainstream bourgeois mentality. I wouldn't even say that. He's not a shit lib. He's just like, apparently he's a fucking asshole as well, like, according to that Daily Beast article. When's the debate? Tomorrow, apparently. Vocal procrastinating. I've saved the one with Jenny Nicholson because I love Jenny Nicholson's content. You can actually... Oh no, it's on my chat tab. I've got all her videos like recommended underneath. Fucking love her videos. People like Jenny Nicholson are like these people I just want to make more videos. Like, I want to hear their takes on more stuff. And it's so frustrating. You got to wait like 5 months for a video. Like, I think she's so... I think it's such a big skill to be like so naturally funny with your own sense of humour. That it is so appealing to people. The only person I think, you guys will probably not know this person, the only person I think does it as well is this YouTuber called Carl Bossman, who I've followed for years. He used to be at Game Trailers and Easy Allies, these video game channels. And he's so naturally funny with his weird sense of humour, which is so unique, but it's amazing like how well it translates to like the wider audience and you kind of like buy into his sense of humour. Oh, the Nippon Kaigi stuff. Knowing better. Is knowing better than know nothing guy? These people all have really similar names. Judas, hi King. I can't stay in chat. Wanted to like. I love your content. Thanks so much, Judas. I probably missed you, but I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, Cenk Uyghur's takes on Cuba. Okay, the thing is, right, I got pretty hyped because TYT's like main Facebook page tweeted out this live stream with me and the Humanist Report and like tagged my name. And here's the thing in terms of, I made a video about this. I started watching the Young Turks in 2011 when I was like 16. And they actually, I wrote this on Instagram, they actually inspired me to make my own politics YouTube channel. And what I think the Young Turks are so good for is just making people go in that direction. And I think what liberals are often, okay, Cenk is pretty much like left liberal, and he doesn't like socialism in terms of like an overall thing. He wants like a capitalism, socialism, best of both worlds, like Norway or something, which is okay, whatever. But like what liberals are often good for, and you see it with the Destiny debate with John Tron, is they're sometimes quite good at pushing people left because they're good at debating right-wingers or making right-wingers seem stupid. And you can't discount like Young Turks is so old and it's got such a big reach. You can't discount how helpful that is for people becoming more leftist, because it happened to me. I made a video about how the Young Turks like bread pilled me. They helped me learn all about like the like real like I guess nuances of US politics and keep up to date on US politics and just show me how shitty a lot of these capitalist systems were, even though these guys were pro-capitalist. And then like Anna Kasparian obviously had that pretty shit take about like homelessness. But even her journey, she said it's because of Michael Brooks, but she's become more left-wing as well, which is nice because when Cenk was saying all this shit about Cuba, about how bad it is, like run as a country, and then she was pushing back on it, and I was like, that's nice to see, because about 5 or 6 years ago, she wouldn't have done that. So Cenk, like, obviously, you get older and you start seeing how wrong he is on a lot of stuff. His atheism is kind of weird sometimes. I think he was blaming Israel-Palestine on religion, and I responded saying, like, it's like blaming Northern Ireland, or just like Republicans and Protestants in Northern Ireland on religion. It's just, that's not the point anymore. It's not about religion anymore. It's about identity. Blake, I can't believe the quartering literally came on my live stream and started messaging that. I don't know if anyone remembers that. Sorry, just my thing's gone. Yeah, so Kate's saying, I think TYT played a huge role in getting AOC elected. Yeah, I need to read this book. It is a good book, from the bits I read. Yeah, but Blake, I've had, the thing is, with Sam Harris, right, I didn't go full on edgelord atheist back in the day, but I did used to listen to Sam Harris and agree with a lot of what he said. And I do think, to start with, he influenced my views on Islam a tiny bit, like in terms of like thinking Islam although all religions are bad, Islam is like has its own unique elements which make it like worse than Christianity. And this was like at the height of like ISIS and shit like that. And so I thought that like I would agree with him on a lot of things. I still, the thing is, some of his assessments are fine, but he's literally fallen off the deep end in terms of like he just engages in culture war garbage, and he's pretty much outed himself as a right winger. And his animosity towards Islam doesn't seem like it's driven by religious arguments anymore. It's driven, like I made the whole video about Gavin McInnes and Sam Harris. It's driven by Western chauvinism now. This belief that like, despite their problems with Christianity, that the West style of government and ethics is superior than like Middle Eastern or Asian. It's just like a superior form of government, and we should defend that. And he talks about like demographics, about Islamic refugees coming over and like changing the demographics, therefore going to change the face of the country. I've debunked a lot of this stuff. But back in the day, like, you know, it felt like Sam Harris and a couple atheists were saying stuff that no one else would say. And as like someone who's like kind of forming your own opinion about the world as like a young man, it felt like it was a person who was saying what I believed as well. Like, why does no one talk about how ridiculous religion is? That's, you know, what I was thinking back in the day. And then here's a guy who seems to do it in like, he seems intelligent, he seems to do it in like a calm manner. And, you know, someone I feel like speaks for me a bit more. It's only when I got a bit older, I kind of just moved away from atheism. Because I said in my videos, I realised my problem was not global religion. I used to kind of think that was my problem. It's global capitalism. And, you know, I'm against religion by and large. I'm not a religious person. I believe it's like quite responsible for so much evil in the world. But at the same time, it's not a hill I want to die on anymore. Like I would die on that hill. Like I would love to get rid of it. Now I'm just like, and also I was maybe a bit naive in the sense that like, obviously I knew about Saudi Arabia, but all these like Middle Eastern dictatorships or authoritarian regimes, nearly all of them are backed up by the United States to do its own work, right? So if we want to like tone down like that sort of religious violence, it would benefit the world if like this capitalist system was gone, so we didn't have the US government taking over these countries or really influence them just for its capitalist interests. So I realised as I got older, like my problem wasn't religion really. I thought it was, but it wasn't. And the division, and even the religious violence a lot of the time is caused by imperialism and capitalism and stuff like that. So yeah, I did a massive shift. I think when I was 21, and also like I'm so grateful I did a master's in like political science. So obviously the political science of international relations, because I had some great professors. One was actually a communist, which was cool, who taught me Middle Eastern history and did some US foreign policy with us. But I think that really influenced my views because it helped me contextualize in a political theory kind of way the history stuff I'd learned at undergrad, which I think was really helpful for me in terms of like realizing more things about the IMF and the World Bank, which I knew about, but not to the extent like how it destroyed Russia after the Soviet Union's fall. So there's a lot of stuff like that. So I think it was really helpful for me getting out of this atheist mindset, because I do remember one of my best friends at my masters, sadly we don't keep in touch as much anymore because they've moved back to Egypt. We would talk about religion a lot because they weren't very religious, but they were Muslim, and I still remember debating that with her. So I must have still had some tendencies about being an atheist a bit more. But I definitely, and that's when I started my YouTube channel as well. And I did start making atheist content, but I do remember one of my videos was actually about how much I disagreed with them on their views on like Iran and the nuclear bomb. And then also, I'm actually happy about this because I used to think like something I was maybe a bit ashamed of. Was I like very good about like transgender rights when I was like 21, 22? I'm 25 and a half now. And then thankfully, even though I've privated these videos, I found an old video of mine, and it's about these two Christian religious parents in the UK taking their child out of school because there's a transgender student, and I'm just basically going off on them. And I was quite proud of myself because I was like, I don't really remember being like really passionate about trans rights or being that good on it, but clearly like I must have been. And this isn't just like a new thing I thought about like over the last 2 or 3 years. It's something that I have been fairly consistent with over the last 5 or so years or something. So I was quite pleased with that, even though I was like a bit more my edgy atheist days. I was still, you know, stand up for trans rights in my videos, which was good to see, because I was a bit afraid, like, was I like a piece of shit when I started YouTube? Like, was I like a Sam Harris, like mini Sam Harris? And I was like, I definitely wasn't. I did make some videos talking about, like, you know, Islam and shit like that, but not really in the way like Sam Harris. I think I just talked about like debunking arguments for like the burqa or something, or the niqab. Yeah. Sorry, Technovamp saying, I'm a big fan of your content. I like longer form lefty content. I want to hear your opinion on the Chinese Communist Party. I see them as neo-fascist, but that's because I'm an anarchist. Yeah, like, it depends, because it's such like a big organization, but I do believe that the leadership do lean ethno-nationalist a bit, because of like the ethno-nationalism about China, like reclaiming its place in the world, stuff about like Han Chinese and like the Uyghur stuff. I think it's definitely got some ethno-nationalist elements. In terms of the Communist Party in general, I don't have too much of an opinion on that. It's like, I see a lot of these countries as imperialist countries. The main thing is, I think the Red Scare about the Communist Party in China in the West is like just fucking ridiculous and hypocritical, like especially in terms of Tencent, that tech company. And it's like, Tencent is taking over and censoring your games. Chinese Communist Party are evil. And it's like, you know, Tencent's a publicly traded company. It's capitalism that's ruining your games, because they're selling out to get to the Chinese market. They don't need to go to the Chinese market, but they want as much profit as possible, trying to have their cake and eat it too by selling their games in China and in the West, while like making changes to appeal to China. But in general, yeah, like, Chinese communism is really, really interesting. I was asking my Discord actually yesterday, like, I'm reading a book about Che Guevara's revolution. It's his diary from the war. And I'd love to read one on Mao, because Mao's like revolution was so insane in terms of it was so long, and the shit they survived fighting the nationalists in China is just it's just so crazy. Like, you don't even believe what you're reading in terms of like what they went through. It's the same with like, you know, the Viet Cong, or like the NLF in Vietnam. But in terms of like Mao in the 1960s, just turned into such a paranoid lunatic. The Cultural Revolution was absolutely batshit. Just like enabling these students to go around being like judge, jury, and executioner, make people like tell Mao about their day, like his portrait in your house. It was just like a really crazy time. But yeah, nowadays in terms of like states and stuff, I still think the US is a worse country than China, more destructive government. Obviously, I'm not a simp for China, and what frustrates me actually, I was following the British Communist Party on Twitter, then it's writing all this glowing stuff about China, and I'm like, no, like, I mean, I'm not like, strictly speaking, a Marxist or a communist, but I'm like, I wanted to follow you guys for this communist critique on Britain and stuff, and you're giving me like all this praise about China. Like, it's just not what I want. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, when Kyle Rittenhouse killed people. Will you ever have a conversation with Xanderhall? Probably not. Jack Lucas saying, I liked how you showed what Anita said in full. So many people took snippets of her videos out of context to make her points seem more extreme. They were interesting questions, at least. Yeah, I don't even mind people like criticizing her at all. Like, that's totally fine. Criticize her all you want, but just most of the arguments against her are such bad faith. Like, the arguments I showed you in the video were so fucking ridiculous and so easily debunkable. Like, that one was so funny about, like, is Anita Sarkeesian saying I'm a sexist, that if my wife got stolen from me in a video game and I went to go rescue her, she thinks I should just stay at home. And I was like, no, her point about like the damsel in distress thing is like, this trope exists because of sexism, not that like if you're in that situation you'd be a sexist to like rescue your family if you were a man or some shit. I actually really, my favorite point, like I said in the video, was the one about how male like revenge stories are often about, as much as they are about revenge, it's about making the man like reclaim his masculinity, which was like destroyed by his, you know, inability to defend his family. Were they armed? No, they're armed like a skateboard. He had like an assault rifle, well, a rifle. I'm so tired with the Lindsay Ellis, Jenny Nicholson clique sheet shtick. What does that mean? I don't know anything about Lindsay Ellis apart from she got like forced off Twitter for a bad take about that dragon film, Raya and the Dragon or something. Green Day saying, I'm a super old subscriber. I think I was here before something like 8K. Oh, you are old as well. I think Veronica was here from 6K, so she was the oldest in the chat. And Onalus was here from 6K, and Kennedy, who sometimes jumps in, was there. Knowing better, okay, is a former US Army dude who's in Iraq. Okay, it's not knowing nothing, or whatever the fuck he's called. Yeah, Anna has gone super left, apart from that weird take about our listeners. But then she did explain it on Twitter, but it wasn't a good look. So I'm just reading some more comments. I've never seen the Young Turks. I mean, they were pretty good when I was young. I don't watch them as much. I mean, I'd take Young Turks over fucking Jimmy Dore any day of the week. Jonas saying, Destiny is why I try not to get attached to any online person. Before his arc, I got uneasy of how he'd throw out arguments about Black lives and stuff on race that was factual and in line with my ideas, because it always felt like he was just saying what he thought would get him a pass for later, and then he did it with the N-word and the Kennesaw teen shooter, and he's a shitty guy. Yeah, even in that John Chandler debate, I didn't play it, but he was saying about capitalism being like a nuanced issue because it did, not capitalism, colonialism being like nuanced because it did some good. Kaiju Utopia said, hey man, love what you do, thanks a lot. I agree with you and Sam Harris, it's a shame really. Sam Harris has a profound effect on me, I hope for the best, but he's got huge blind spots. Yeah, him engaging with like rubbish culture war stuff is so ridiculous. Yeah, new atheists kind of ruined it for all atheists. I think just atheists in general, we've got more of a problem now. We've got more things to worry about than religion. And in my mind, it's like what often gets ignored, and I've learned this as I gotten older, that like liberation movements in like countries outside the West are often totally ignored. So, for example, in Afghanistan, before the invasion, there was like a radical women's liberation organization that the Americans briefly talked to, but then they didn't want to help them, and then they just helped the people who were like, you know, massive human rights abusers, especially against women, put them into the coalition to overthrow the Taliban and stuff. So, yeah, it made me realise, like, the West don't really give a shit about this stuff unless it can help them. Do I have any good resources on the IMF and World Bank? Sadly, all my lovely resources somehow got deleted off my iPad, so I lost like all my fucking articles from uni. Yeah, I'm gonna find one. See if I can get up the book. This is pretty staggering though. They literally made the USSR like 10 times worse. I wonder if I'll ever be able to find this article again. It's a good one. It's about how the IMF basically destroyed Russian economy. I'm just having a look now, but yeah, so basically in terms of the IMF and World Bank, the main things you want to look at is pre-Arab Spring, Tunisia, Egypt, and another, I forgot what one, and then obviously and some African countries as well in the 80s, and then post-Soviet Union, Russia. Basically what the IMF do and the World Bank is they will give you loans, loads of loans, but you've got to privatise most of your economy, especially natural resources, and they often come into former, you know, socialist states or countries that have state control on natural, like, you know, nationalised industries for like oil or minerals and stuff, because they want to extract the wealth. And of course, what often happens is Western corporations come in, get richer, but it creates an oligarchy in these countries, and poor people get poorer, no opportunity for young people. So love the content about media. Thanks. I like making it as well. I need to make my Last of Us one. China takes over the US. No more crappy sitcoms. Maybe you'll get some crappy Chinese ones. Yeah, I made a video, Sushi the Sloth, on thingy, Vaush and black nationalism. Wait, do I not like Zandov? I mean, I ain't really got an opinion on him, to be honest. I mean, what would we really talk about? I'm not. The thing is, out of everyone I want to collab with, he's not up there. I mean, if he said you want to come on tomorrow or whatever, I'd probably be up for it if he wanted to talk about something I know about. But yeah, not the top of my list. Jonah's saying there are certain BreadTubers who I know who aren't especially equipped. Sorry, I got a mosquito flying around. Who aren't especially equipped for subjects outside their wheelhouse. For me, that includes Vaush and race. Yeah, Vaush. Vaush is like serves a purpose like Destiny. I don't hate Vaush. I know a few of my subscribers do hate him. But yeah, I made a video on the black nationalism stuff because that was like super bad, like his takes on it. Sometimes his takes on like foreign policy are kind of bad, especially someone with a background in international relations. I actually think BreadTube in general's knowledge of history and international relations, especially white Americans, is really poor. A lot of them just don't know much at all, apart from like recent history, and they don't really understand the power dynamics. Like the stuff about Afghanistan was actually pretty embarrassing in terms of like comparing it to like the fall of Saigon. It's not even comparable, like Vietnam and Afghanistan, apart from the length of time the Americans have been there. If that content was more popular, for sure, I would do a few more deep dive into foreign policy, because like I think I don't have obviously a reputation for knowing about it because I don't make content on it, but obviously my academic background is in it, so I do know it a lot better than most people. And obviously I got really good knowledge of history as well. So it's my strongest subjects, really. And the thing is, I go back and forth in my mind. I was like, if you don't know about something, can you talk about it? And I was like, well, I'd be a hypocrite if I said no, because I've made videos and stuff I don't really know about. Like media properties, like Warhammer 40k, for example. But at the same time, yeah, their research is pretty poor. Kavernacle, you mentioned the Communist Party is China. How do you feel about them copying out of the imperialist playbook? I mean, I would not compare what China is doing in Africa with the Century of Humiliation in China, because the Century of Humiliation was just Western colonialists carving up China, and Japan did it as well, for itself. Whereas I think what China are doing more is trying to get cozy relationships with African governments through investment and like more like bribery, like South Africa, for example, and there's others. I wouldn't, especially right now, like if they, I'd more compare it to like a US style foreign policy that they're trying to get influence, but there's a bit more. I wouldn't say goodwill, but they're not as direct. Like for example, the IMF and World Bank was started. The US is like the key member, so it has the most power in it. Started by the Western nations in 1944 during the Second World War. The US is the one pushing for these privatized economies, and that's their condition of you getting the loans, right? The China, as much as it like invests, does do loans as well. It's not as much like, here's the money, now give me your natural resources, in terms of like, let the Western corporations come in and just like ravage your economy for our profit. China doesn't do that as much yet. I know it does have some policies that result in like a lot of debt and stuff. But yeah, like I wouldn't describe it at all like the Century of Humiliation that the West did to China. Read some more stuff. I love both Lindsay Ellis and Jenny. Both have very good videos. I really like Jenny's videos. Debate is tomorrow. Malpin is in here. I think it's just like a fake account. Sorry, I'm reading some more comments. When is the Pig Punch? Mega X5000 saying, "Hey Kavernacle, your video on Metal Gear Solid Hideo Kojima was great. I met some dipshit Gamergator Tommy. MGS isn't political because being anti-war isn't a political position." That is so fucking hilarious. But the thing is, let's say being anti-war isn't a political position. Metal Gear literally fucking covers so many political issues. Even if anti-war wasn't a political issue, then it would have a million other things that it covered that are political issues. I will never, I can't actually believe how anti-SJWs always fucking miss the point of everything. Like, people were taking the piss out of me on Twitter or something someone sent me because I said Blade Runner 2049 is about climate change. Like, that's the subtext of the film. California as dystopia with a massive fucking seawall and it's snowing all the time, and it's made in 2015, 16, 17, and they don't think that says something about climate change. It's like the subtext of the world and stuff. That District 9 take was fucking hilarious though. District 9 is going woke with the new films. It's going to talk about African Americans or some shit. Oh my god. It's just I made all those videos about how they don't understand films, comics and things, and I've just been vindicated so hard since because there's been so many fucking stupid examples. I just feel like sometimes the popular lefties on YouTube are cliquey. I don't know, is it something... Yeah, no, Katie, I totally understand it. Vaush is pretty cozy of Shoe Head, Xanderhall and a couple others, and that's a clique. The Surfs, who are pretty good at getting everyone on, but there is a BreadTube elite who are all pals with each other. And I've heard stuff behind the scenes, some inside information. I've heard stuff behind the scenes that certain BreadTubers won't do stuff with other BreadTubers unless a certain person comes on. So, you might be say, come on this charity stream, come on this collab stream. There's be 5 or 6 of us. And they'll be like, is so-and-so going to be there? And you'll be like, and the person said to me, they'll be like, maybe. And then the person doesn't come on, that means the other person doesn't come on. So I think there is a bit of a clique in terms of I obviously went on the Humanist Report, you can see on the screen right now. Mike is super cool, about all this stuff and nice. I've never met or even spoke to any of the people you can see on screen. So Amy has 20k Twitch subs, Lumi similar, Generational Change, they have 50,000 followers on Twitter, but only 7,000 followers on YouTube. Mike has obviously over 350k, and then I have nearly 40k. So it's a really nice balance. But Mike has had people on who have really small followings. So obviously he's not cliquey in the sense that he's using his platform to help loads of people, and he hadn't even met, I don't think, Amy and Lumi before, and he'd never even spoke to them before. I think me and Generational Change were the only ones he spoke to in the past. So that's not clique at all. He's a super good guy about this stuff. There's other people as well, but I think it more leans to the Twitch side of BreadTube, if that even is classed as BreadTube, where it is more cliquey. I'd never feel comfortable. I'm sure I could get a lot of them to come on my channel, but I wouldn't feel comfortable asking them that. Because I feel there is a power dynamic. Apparently, anyone can go on Vaush. He just has loads of random people on. I would never fucking ask to go on. If I really, really wanted to, which I don't really care about, it'd be good for boosting, myself. But if I really wanted to go on it, I would never ask him, and I would never ask any of these people to go on their stuff. It just feels really awkward to me. I'm totally happy for people to ask me to come on stuff. I've gone on channels that have less than 100 subs to talk about stuff. For me, it's just a matter of time. But I do feel a lot of people, even my channel is fairly big. I think a lot of people in BreadTube would say no if I asked them, just because they don't want to do it, or they think it's a waste of their time. So there is definitely the problem, and that's the problem with YouTube in general. And I've said to you guys before, I don't see my YouTube as like political activism like a lot of people do. I don't see it that way. For me, it's a way, and people say, you know, they've had their mind changed on certain things by my videos. Like there was a big post on BreadTube talking about me and the serfs, helping them out of an alt-right rabbit hole, and that's really cool and stuff. But I do not make my videos with like political activism in mind, in the sense that I'm like, you know, I'm going to be organising marches, or like I'm going to use it to talk about like nitty gritty politics and stuff. For me, it's just like, well, it's obviously my job now, but I was like, I like making this stuff. It's fun. I like politics loads. I like history loads. I like creating content. Like that's the main thing for me, and I like the response it gets. I like people telling me they like it and giving me feedback. I like all that stuff, right? Whereas a lot of people like do it as activism, or some people will even do it as like a way to boost their brand and shit like that, which is all like, you know, valid reasons. But yeah, I do feel like a lot of people would think they're wasting their time even coming on a channel of my size, let alone a way smaller channel. Is Jenny even political? She is political, but yeah, not the most political person ever. Watching Cav during lockdown. Oh, Limbo, you're from Australia, aren't you? The UK had so many fucking lockdowns. It was so depressing. Do I think United need Declan Rice, Neves, or Camavinga to challenge? The thing is, I think United can challenge for the title without them. I don't think Liverpool are going to do that well next season. I think they need new attackers, for sure. I think it'll be City, Chelsea, and United. I think we've got enough. It just depends about fitness. Like we need Martial playing better. We need Rashford fit. Rice, I don't think we need. Neves or Camavinga would be a nice addition if Pogba stays. I think. The book is good. Economic Hitman. It talks about the CIA, just as Kavernacle was explaining. Who wrote it? It sounds pretty good. How old is it? No, I don't think that's the real guy. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have that stupid profile picture. Vaush and others should choose not to talk about certain topics like race. Simply, they love to act like they know everything. Yeah, I mean, that is a bit of a problem. I said this, it's like, the problem with streamers is they talk about so much different shit, and they like to be an authority on a lot of stuff. So sometimes I think they just start talking about it with authority when they don't really know what they're talking about. So, looking through old Cav vids, man, you had like one face in your thumbnails. Do you mean like one face of a person or my face? Sorry, I'm just reading some more shit. Sorry, it's just flicked down. Have you read Watchmen? No, I just watched the show and the movie. Jenny is cute. I just find her really funny. It's not really like a thirsty thing. Yeah, being anti-war and anti-imperialist, because I found like the Jimmy Dore left are mainly just anti-US imperialism, and it pretty much ends with that. Doesn't really extend much further. Just put some music on. I found the first Cav video. I watched it again, the furry neo-Nazi one. Now, is that the one I made in January or the one I made like in May last year? I mean, Umar, I don't protect Sean Head and Jimmy Dore. I literally shit on Jimmy Dore all the time. Why is the online left like high school? Yeah, it's pretty shitty. Like, I know some people who I consider like more like genuine, who've told me some disappointing stuff about other people I like, and I'm just like, when you see it through, when you find out people are more like clout chasers, a bit more or are very calculated about who they collab with because they want to just maximize their time collabing with important people, it's pretty disappointing. I didn't say Jimmy Dore started the Justice Democrats. I said Carl Klinsky and Cenk did. Yeah, look at the stuff Jimmy Dore's been retweeting lately. I'm not even going to talk about it on stream because I don't want to get my stream flagged. The thing is, Umar, with Jimmy Dore, he doesn't go on Fox News to spread a progressive message. He goes on Fox News to shit all over the left and just agree with everything Tucker Carlson says. I haven't read Watchmen or V for the Dead. I've just watched the films. I got my times mixed up. What's Cav's thoughts about the Vaush debate? I'm a little nervous for Vaush. The thing is, like people were saying, like, is this the best person to talk about critical race theory? The main thing is, Charlie Kirk is a fucking idiot, right? And what he's gonna say critical race theory isn't what critical race theory is, right? He's just gonna be talking about like teaching American kids to be racist by teaching them about like the KKK or some shit. So I think in this context, obviously, like. Three white guys were talking about critical race theory. Maybe not the best thing, but in terms of like, I think Vaush will be totally fine because Kirk is just an idiot. So yeah, I will, if it's spicy, I might make a video about it and then just talk about critical race theory in general. Yeah, I'm not shitting all over Twitch streamers. I'm saying the Twitch streamers seem more cliquey. I'm not saying they don't do anything good. How about we schedule the fake Caleb Mopin wants to schedule a debate? Alright, is this in the 1% chance it's actually fucking him? I'm just gonna check quick. Is this actually? I can't even tell if this is fucking him or not. But no, I don't want to debate. Sorry. What? If this was real Caleb Mopin, what the fuck would we talk about? Like what would me and you's conversation be about fake Caleb Mopin? And for some reason I can't. Like, that is the shitty thing about YouTube chat. I can't click on his thing because he's got the same fucking picture. Jimmy Dore has a bunch of lawyers like Aaron Marte and shit, like in his replies all the time defending him. As far as I'm concerned, if you're pro-capitalism, you're a right winger. I mean, probably not strictly speaking true, but most of them are more right leaning. Have I read Dune? No, I'm hyped for the film though, because like as you can see on my wall, Blade Runner is one of my favourite films. I'm actually going to see Blade Runner and 2049 double bill on Friday. I'm super hyped because I've never seen the first one in a cinema, and I just really want to see it in a cinema. So 2005. Okay, that's interesting. I'd like it'd be cool to read an updated one just because of the Arab Spring is so intertwined with IMF economic policies. Force the Vote is some weird fucking cult now. Like I said when it happened, I was like, I don't like disagree or agree with it. I think it's fine, but the people leading it and how crazy it fucking got, like seriously was weird. Just discovered and love your videos. Thanks so much, Anthony. What are your thoughts on Mike from PA? Yeah, Mike from PA, I mean, he's okay. I went on his stream. We had a nice conversation about British and American politics. The thing is, when people ask me about, like, what are your thoughts on X, I can't always talk about it because I don't follow them close enough. Like, Mike seems decent enough. Oh, shit. I just knocked over my Switch. Mike seems decent enough from what I know. He obviously had a couple meltdowns on that Vaush stuff, which was quite, like, funny, I guess. But, alright, I'm just going to go to the bathroom quick because I've been drinking this monster thing. Before I go, I'm going to read the comments. Don't worry. Can you guys hear this if I play it? Give me one sec. Because you can just listen to me talk about transgender rights for like a minute. Alright, let me know, guys. Can you hear it? Can you hear this?
Right.
And that's where I think in America you can build on that. Because imagine how many old people who love Joe Biden are being exposed.
You can hear it. Okay, I'll just leave that on quick. Ooh.
So this stuff for the first time.
Let me just go back a bit. Wait. When do I start talking?
Racist or bigoted, so that or perception and tradition.
I talk fucking lots.
The voters and people who aren't as religious are saying because they're having a fight over compromising. And I just made a video. I have people in the UK because
sorry about this.
Phobes in the UK, obviously, supportive of trans identity. There's other issues which are kind of like hit or miss, but largely the British public are. Now, it's just very frustrating that we can't even get a left-wing party to talk about these things. And it's a stereotype that's true. White liberal women are some of the worst transphobes in the UK. Obviously, J.K. Rowling, you know about. But every Guardian columnist or stuff like that, they're all writing these awful articles. So, like, I feel really bad for people in the UK because at least in the US, yeah, I know it's awful because you have these absolute zealots in the Republican Party, the Christian right, who are like uncompromising. And I just made a video before I came on about the new civil war in the Republican Party because they're having a fight over do they accept transgender Republicans? And the religious right say no, it's like degeneracy, whereas the more like, I guess, people who aren't as religious are saying if they're conservative, who cares? And now in the UK, we don't have that debate anywhere. It's literally like, don't talk about it. It will just alienate the voters. And because of this push, because Manchester and traditionally working class areas went to the Tories for the first time, it's like this perspective that, or perception, that these guys who Labour lost are inherently like racist or bigoted. So the way you win them back is don't talk about that stuff, because I think the loony left under Corbyn, who did talk about all this stuff, rights of minorities, rights of refugees, trans people, like really great stuff, that was too alienating. Rather than looking at the bigger problem, it was just this complete overwhelming demonization by the press. So I would say at least in America you have like visibility for trans rights and trans issues, and just Joe Biden saying this, I know it doesn't mean much coming from someone like him, but Joe Biden talking about transgender rights is like absolutely huge, like and that's where I think in America you can build on that, because imagine how many old people who love Joe Biden are being exposed to this stuff for the first time, where in the UK we can't even get a 50-year-old Labour leader to even acknowledge this stuff. So, like, I feel like in the US, it's a massive uphill battle, and it's part of the culture war. But, like, hopefully...
By the way, did anyone watch this? Katie said she did. Did anyone else watch it? All right, let me get back to the comments. Thank you for your patience. I'm going back up. Get your comments before I went down. Oscar Isaac is about to make up for how garbage Star Wars was. Yeah, hopefully. The thing is, though, I think Dune just looks fucking weird. Like, I don't think it actually looks that good, if I'm being honest. But I'm just confident it will be good because of, obviously, Villeneuve and the team behind Blade Runner doing it, basically. So I'm hopeful, but I'm still not very sure. It just looks too fucking weird. Jake Tapper, yeah. Jake Tapper like has some fucking hate boner for Rashida Tlaib, probably because she's Palestinian. Right, in some more. David Lynch's Dune. Yeah, it's like he got Carl McLachlan from Twin Peaks and just did Dune. I don't know what came first, Twin Peaks or Dune. I think Dune came first, didn't it? Ridley Scott loves horses. So many of his films have horse motifs in it. I hadn't noticed that before. It's probably true though. Mike is not a good dude. He was fine when we spoke. Mike is a lunatic. I mean, we just had a little chat, so yeah, that Fiorella lady is like, it's so crazy. I saw that shit. Like, she doesn't actually support Medicare for all, but she's at the speech for it. So reading some more stuff. There's no way Vaush wins a 3-on-1, especially with bad faith pundits like Charlie Kirk. The thing is, Tim Pool seems to weirdly like Vaush for some reason. I don't really know why. You didn't think they really get along. Jake Tapper is peak Zionist piece of shit. Yeah, it's so fucking obvious. I watched it live. I said hi to you in the live chat. Oh, that's cool. I think I did see that and say it back. I did on Lumi's channel. Okay, awesome. I did, Zoe. Yeah, Zoe, I saw you comment in the thing. I appreciate the support from the Kavernacle team. Any Dune adaptation is better than Lynch's. Yeah, I wanted to watch it before, but I'm just going to fucking leave it and see the surprise of it. What else I want to talk about? Yeah, I want to talk about some of the Anita comments. So let's... I'm on the wrong fucking... I'm on the chat still. Wait, okay. Alright, so I'm going to try and find them. But basically, people were saying... You know, people were saying about... Okay, here's one, for example. This isn't really... I mean, actually, make it clear a few. Sorry, it looks fucking weird at the moment. Right, you guys can kind of see this. That's a nice comment I got. Alright, so like, Anita is nothing but a lying, outrage grifter. This comment from Sam. Like all those anti-SJW channels you see everywhere, and this is coming from a left-leaning person myself. Both same sides of the coin, as this expression goes, as that's all she does with her cherry picking. Sorry, taking things completely out of context and much more, pretty much like those on the far right. Like, this is the funny criticism. Like, no hate to this guy, but like, the cherry picking thing for Anita is really weird because in my mind, she's making like a broad criticism, right? So she's making a broad criticism about how women are depicted in certain games, and I don't think it's cherry picking when you've got so many examples in how you can like prove this stuff. Like, she's not just taking one thing in the videos I showed, at least I didn't watch all of them obviously. She's not just taking one thing and being like, oh, she didn't take the Mario and Zelda and just be like, and this proves they have a sexist trope in video games. She literally had like if you watch those videos, there are so many examples. She's just like, it's the same in like 10 games, the same storyline, the same trope. And that's why I think she does like a good job on this stuff, especially in the videos I watched. I don't really agree at all she's like an anti-SJW. Anti-SJWs, like, their logic sometimes is just like so inconsistent, right? Here's one for you. You know how much they hate Disney for ruining Star Wars? Now apparently they're on Disney's side for not paying Scarlett Johansson's contract properly. Like, was it she was meant to make most of her salary from the film's revenue in theatres, and she thinks she's been screwed over. And then in their clickbait videos, they're taking her side after shitting on Disney constantly for years. It's so fucking strange. Some more stuff. Someone saying, I normally agree with you in most things, but things like this and The Last of Us 2, the only thing I can say is soy boy. And I said pretty cringe. Well, I don't even understand. Like, how can you agree with me in most things and then suddenly think Last of Us 2 is for SJWs and stuff? You're just some fucking idiots. Like, whatever you say, man, Anita is a liar who outright lied about games, and she's also a radical feminist. For people who remember this shit in the chat, like, was the internet... It must have been, because obviously I was on YouTube, but not as much, but, like, was the internet so, like, crazy back then? Like, this was actually a big deal, because looking back at this shit, it's crazy how not a big deal the JonTron stuff was, and that was in 2017. But how absolutely insane the reaction to these critiques were. And like I said in my video, they're not... Some of it is a bit, like, interesting in terms of, like, I hadn't thought about something through the lens of, like, a feminist critique as much. But then a lot of it is just, like, yeah, it's pretty standard, not, like, really a deep dive or anything, like, pretty interesting, and that's about it. Like, the freak out was literally just the craziest fucking thing ever. See if there's any more comments I want to respond to. Yeah, so people were talking about The Amazing Atheist a lot in the comments, so I'm definitely going to make my video on him next. So I think I'll do that tomorrow, perhaps. Also, it's crazy how, like, I don't know if you guys noticed that I've been, like, trying to, like, double tap on YouTube where I upload 2 days in a row rather than, like, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It makes me feel better because if the Thursday video does shit, I can just feel better about the Friday video. But also, the Grimes video and JonTron one, like, blew up together. It was pretty cool. The thing about YouTube, it's such swings and roundabouts in the sense that, like, one week I'm like, oh, my channel is shit, and it's like it's like going to crap, like, my subs are down, my views are down, and then, like, you just get 2 videos and it's like, oh shit, like, I'm back. I thought I was gonna get 40k by November. Now I'd probably, hopefully get it this week. So but yeah, just like the feminists, I said in the video, these videos are just such a standard BreadTube essay. It's just crazy there's such an insane reaction to them. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think in the comments. Let me just get the comments up again. I don't know why it does that when I change to my tab. Let's just go back on here. Alright, sorry, I just want to get the chat up again. Alright, so I see 140 people watching and only 73 upvotes. Yeah, like the stream if you're enjoying. 40k soon. Yeah, thanks so much, Homeless, for being my hype man. But yeah, hopefully 40k soon. Alright, read some more. So Green Day saying, putting aside Anita's arguments, didn't she, like, bankrupt feminist frequency with her overspending on frivolous crap? The thing is, Green Day, feminist frequency still has a lot of Patreon supporters, so I don't know how true that is. Like, I don't know if she did manage it like crap, and although I said my video doesn't really get many views anymore, it is interesting that the Patreon is still doing really well. It's like £2,500 a month or something, which is pretty decent. They're taking her side precisely because they're anti-Disney and Scarlett is Sue. No, but they're taking Disney's side, which is just the fucking strangest thing. Is she a rad fem? No, I wouldn't say she's a radical feminist. I wouldn't say she's a liberal feminist, but I definitely wouldn't say she's a radical feminist either. Yeah, if I ever write that political history of YouTube book, Gamergate's got to be in it, but I'd probably lump it in with skeptics as well. Can I do a video about Clownfish TV? Diego, I think Xanderhall did one, like, really recently that you might want to check out. Yeah, Comicsgate is fucking weird. I love that you are grinding and it's working. Yeah, thank you, homeless. I have been actually putting so much more effort in the last couple of weeks, so just been like really researching the videos and planning them. The anti-SJW's movement was literal hysteria. It was an establishment of the selective outrage media machine that turned itself into a moral panic. Yeah, critical race theory, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, cultural Marxism. Also, I need to make a video on cultural Marxism. I was just thinking today, cultural Marxism is literally one of the most fucking racist things, just like openly racist. This conspiracy theory that like here's the theory, right? Cultural Marxism is this ideology of these Marxists who fled Nazi Germany and moved to the US, right? And the belief that these guys somehow their theory like took over every single university in like America and is destroying like Western culture is literally like, that's why I always say it's like Judeo-Bolshevism, because like the concept is really the same. While Jordan Peterson will be like, it's like, oh, this left wing anti-science, anti all this fucking shit, anti-truth movement. It's like, you seriously believe this one school of Marxism of Jewish people who fled from the Nazis that just somehow took over every university? Very convenient that these people are like Jewish and, you know, they literally fled from being murdered by Germans. Try Free saying, you're the hardest working video essayist I've ever seen. I get behind on your videos because you upload so quickly. Yeah, a lot of people say that. The worst thing about uploading so much is that I just can't enjoy the success, which fucking sucks. Like, I can't revel in, like, the JonTron Grimes videos doing well because I'm worried about the next upload, which fucking sucks because, like, I often do find it hard to come up with ideas. I have a massive writer's block at the moment, to be honest. I just like my list. I have a massive list on my phone, and it's just so exhausted now. Like I'll show you actually. I just have like all these ticks, and then like tick, not like a bug, and it's now just all gone. Oh, also, I want to talk about Watch Dogs Legion quick. I fucking finished it last night, and if based was a word I use in real life, I would say it's very based. If based was a word you don't just use on the internet, I would describe Watch Dogs Legion as very based. So basically, like, here's my list, right? And then I tick off all the videos. This list is old now, but like, it's basically all ticked off now. I'm fucking out of ideas. I got a couple. Like, I want to make one about Notch and Minecraft. Maybe one about Andrew Yang, like just fucking losing and just leaving the planet basically. But yeah, I appreciate the comment. Try Free. Here's something I want to talk about. So this is I wanted to make a video about this, and maybe one day I will. How anti-SJWs have missed, and it proves something we all know. Anti-SJWs do not play video games, because if they did, they would be absolutely outraged by this game here, Watch Dogs Legion, right? So I hard dropped, and also it shows I just don't fucking know anything about politics, because if they did, they're obviously, oh, fuck, I don't know why it's doing that. They obviously, oh, that's annoying. I wanted to show you my screenshots that I did, so you can just see them like this. It shows anti-SJWs just, yeah, like I said, don't understand politics, right? Here's some nice screenshots I got. And obviously, like, you know, not many people understand British politics that well if you're not from the UK, but they definitely don't. So, like I was saying, I dropped Watch Dogs Legion back in December because I'm a big fan of the first game. I like the second one, but I'm a big fan of the first one. I actually want to go play it again. The first one was pretty political, like against big data, some shit about US imperialism and stuff. The second one was like very political, which I guess came before a bit of the anti-SJW phase of YouTube. But holy shit, this game is one of the most unapologetically political games, like left-wing political games I've ever played. But yeah, I dropped it because I thought, like, I like the first two, this feels a bit crap. And also I thought it looked like shit. It turns out I had performance mode on, which limits it to 30 frames. I'd stuck on or performance mode or graphics fidelity mode had the 30 frames, then I turned on performance mode. Looked so much better. And I came back because they released the DLC, which was actually a sequel to 1 and 2 set 15 years later, because this is London in like the 2030s or something. And basically, the story itself isn't like the most revolutionary. It's about basically there's a false flag attack by and it's blamed on DedSec, who are like the hacker resistance group, and then basically a private military corporation comes in and takes over London as this authoritarian government, and then you have this little thing and you see in the bottom corner, nice to beat you, fucking help us, right? So that's like a pretty standard setup, but like what they've done really well, they have this like pirate radio station which is like pro your organization. You can also play as anyone in the game. I had this really cool, she's female spy, and some of the voice actors are kind of shit, to be honest. Like the Jamaican and Irish accents are totally fucking ridiculous and over the top, don't fit the mood. But she was like 50-year-old British spy. So I just dressed her up in this costume. I was wearing my nice mask, surgical mask, to make me more immersed. But just it felt kind of cool, like a vigilante or something. But on the pirate radio station, it's so unapologetically anti-fascist, anti-capitalist. Like there's literally an academic on the radio saying capitalism does not work for us, and it describes like what capitalism essentially meant when it in its inception is like. And we see capitalism is not meant for us. It even says, for the many, not the few, which was Jeremy Corbyn's campaign slogan in the 2019 election. It's not even so, if you're ingrained in British politics, it's so clear. And there's a mission, there's a hate group in the UK called the EDL. There's a mission where you literally go and kill basically an EDL stand-in, these racist anti-immigrant types. And then you find out who's running them, and it's this like British intelligence operating out of a police station. So it's like talks about, and you have this AI called Bagley, if you guys have played it, and Bagley is sort of like the main character helper sort of, and Bagley was written by I think a famous British YouTuber, and he's just like you, he's like anti-capitalist, and his jokes about like dark jokes about what's going on, like the xenophobia, the racism, the anti-immigrant stuff. Is really interesting. And why I say anti-SJWs missed it so much, talking about get your politics out of your games, this game like rails against the privatization of the NHS, literally has people on the radio talking about why it's so bad. This game talks about why Brexit is so bad. This guy has big satires of like Donald Trump and that sort of like populist politics, and it talks about like big data destroying your life, has like obviously parodies of Facebook, and it's just like it because I'm such like a politics junkie, I think you could play this game and maybe not realise this, especially if you're not a British person, you don't grow up, you're not, involved in British politics. I can understand how you totally miss this stuff, but if you know about this stuff, it's so clearly like Jeremy Corbyn left wing, and that is so clear through what you hear on the street. It talks about like mutual aid groups. They changed the Oval cricket ground into, I think it's the Oval, into like a fucking concentration camp. And in the DLC, someone says to Aidan Pearce, who's the main character for one, he says, she's like, detention camp. And Aidan Pearce is like, it's a concentration camp. And she's like, yeah, but some people don't want to use that phrasing. Obviously talking about like the whole debate in the US about migrant camps or refugee camps being like concentration camps. And I just thought it was just so funny. Like Watch Dogs has always been political, and Ubisoft games have always like flirted a lot with being political, and it's not always like good politics. Tom Clancy games, for example, have a lot of like more right-wing politics in it. But it's funny because when the guy announced this game, he specifically said it's a post-Brexit British dystopia, and that's what I'm saying. Like anti-SJWs do not play games, and even if they played this game, they wouldn't really know that this game is like so political, and it is very anti-fascist, and it talks about like the only problem is that cops can be the good guys, but you can also recruit people from the paramilitary as well. But it does talk about like the problem with police in general as well. But I think the problem a lot of people have, especially anti-SJWs, and it's just a wider problem, is that you've got to have the political knowledge or even just a bit of curiosity about what you're consuming to understand the subtext. So that's why I say like, Ben Shapiro loving Blade Runner 2049 is just fucking ridiculous, but it shows he doesn't understand the subtext of that film. And lots of stuff like that. Anti-SJWs just take the narrative at face value, and because they're not either bright enough or switched on enough, they can't accept that this stuff is actually like insanely political, whether it's like Watch Dogs Legion, where you're literally either hearing your characters say it, or you're either hearing the radio, which is on your side, saying it, and hearing academics talk about like how capitalism has failed. Like literally, I was shocked to hear this. It was a game telling me capitalism needs to go. And the irony is, of course, Ubisoft is such a shitty fucking company run by Yves Guillemot, I think, and his son. Like, there's lots of like nepotism going on, but it's just so funny. Like, they have their problems, like with terms of, you know, Karl Marx in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, for example. But in terms of like this game, I was very, very pleasantly surprised. Like, I'm just reading what I wrote about it. And also, I think, even though it's a bit of a caricature, I fucking love the dialogue that some of your characters have. My spy would keep calling Bagley the AI like a bellend, and it's like, bellend is such a British like swear, not technically like a swear word, but it's such a British word. And like, when you go to places, like people call each other pagans, and just like the dialogue you hear on the street is just really funny. They really nail it. I think whoever made this game, like the whole team behind it, I think they really did a good job of understanding just like British culture, especially London culture. I live in London. I'm from London. The only little criticisms I have is I wanted to do the work. I wanted to do the walk I used to do from the train station to work that I did before I quit my job, because I didn't used to get the tube because of obviously the health stuff at the moment. But then the problem was, I tried to do that walk in Watch Dogs and they just changed it too much, and my office doesn't exist there. You can't really do the walk. That was the one thing I was disappointed in. I was looking forward to that. But in terms of the gameplay, like you can play as anyone, and it's like an RPG system where like different characters have different. So the spy has like a little thing that can go invisible, has a watch that like jams everyone's gun, but the only gun they can hold is either a silenced pistol, which is lethal, or like non-lethal like shotguns and machine guns. Whereas someone like Aiden Pierce, who you can get if you buy the season pass, he has loads of like cool weapons and stuff. So the only problem is, I wanted to play most of the game as this woman because she was one of the best voice acted character I could find. But the problem is, it got really hard because I'm using a silenced pistol and I'm fighting like really tough enemies and bosses and stuff. So that's the problem. But overall, like super impressed. Like I have never played a game, and I think it's a good thing in this regard because you're meant to be playing as like this popular revolution. I've never played a game that is so explicitly left wing politically. Like Metal Gear Solid, I can understand people technically missing the messages of those games because the story is absolutely ridiculous, the visuals are ridiculous. I can understand how you would prioritize that when you're playing it. If you play this game, even if you're just consuming the narrative, you know which way it leans politically. But if you listen to the subtext, it's like not even trying to hide it. And I just think it's so interesting. But like I said, anti-SJWs don't play video games because they just don't understand, you know, this is such a political game. But it was just, you know, I understand people don't like the you know, the Ubisoft sort of formula. I can understand that. But if you like politics, you want to explore London a bit, I would recommend it. It looks very nice as well. All right, let's take some comments now. Big rant from me. Matt Ryan, isn't he Edward Kenway in Assassin's Creed? Right, showing some more comments. Where did I leave off? Yeah, Ish, I have completed Cyberpunk. I would say it's not as like... I think Cyberpunk, with its subtext of like the news reports and stuff, does a good job at satirizing like late stage capitalism. I don't think the politics of Cyberpunk are very obvious and good. Like Curio had a good video saying it's actually bad. Limbo, what ending did you get? Did you get the samurai ending or the ghost ending? What one did you choose? I really like Ghost of Tsushima. I dropped that hard in July and I picked it up about 2 months ago and finished it. I'm hyped for the DLC actually. Who can I watch for UK politics? Just Novara Media probably, I'd say. Alright, gonna read some comments. Watch Dogs had potential, but I never got into it. I'd recommend the first game. I'd recommend all of them actually. Second one is most fun for hacking. The best thing you can do, you can call the police and then call two gangs. to one location and just watch them fight each other. That is so fun to do. Like, it never gets old. Just like call them all up and then they all just start killing each other. Yeah, Watch Dogs 2, like the dialogue, like Wrench is in DLC for Legion with Aiden, which is cool. Alright, made some more comments. Yeah, that's what, like, if you see in the pictures on the screen, that one on the bottom left is like Blade Runner when he's going through Wallace's like factory, and obviously that one at the top looks like some cyberpunk. I do really appreciate the dystopia in Watch Dogs, and like there's just drones flying everywhere, like delivering mail, carrying crates, and then there's like the buses and the taxis are all driverless and like running on AI, and it's very interesting. Like, it's extended the franchise. What I would really love actually is it's generic, but I would love, in my head I've come up with a setting for the new game. Because I think cyberpunk in general like has some problems of being like very orientalist and racist. I would love the new Watch Dogs, like let's say Watch Dogs 4 or 3 or whatever. I would love it to take place in Japan, maybe like 20 years after this game, so like 2050. But because obviously Japan's suffering loads with its aging population, maybe have it take place after like a massive migration incentive campaign from the government. That way, the cyberpunk can be a lot more diverse. Like, something Blade Runner 2049 did really well was the cyberpunk was like had like some Indonesian stuff. It had more like diverse cultures involved in the cyberpunk. It wasn't all just like, here's like me stereotyping Japanese people or something. I think that could be a really cool concept for another Watch Dogs game. I'd love to take it to Japan. Just like visually, it'd be really cool. But I think you could do some cool stuff with the politics and stuff. Blade Runner 2049 had a 4K version on Amazon Prime recently. You can buy them all on Amazon Prime. Yeah, Bellin is a great word. Adam saying, I love you, man. Glad to hear more voices speaking up about the media the way you do. Thanks so much, Adam. Very nice comment. Appreciate it. Pratt is the best. Pratt, yeah, I don't say Pratt. I've never really said it, actually. I'll say twat instead. Anti-SJWs will say stupid shit about Red Dead Redemption 2 being on their side when it's like the Vandalin gang are basically anarcho-communists. Yeah, that's, in my Abby Shapiro, the second video, her husband says Red Dead 2 dabs on the left after shitting all over like Arthur in an earlier bit of the video. And it's like, what game are you playing? Like, they're literally killing like robber barons, like that Cornwall guy, and they're like helping natives attack corporations and stuff. Cyberpunk, it's a bad game. Nope. Cyberpunk's a good game. I watched Matrix for the first time in fucking years. I don't remember. I didn't even remember so much of it because I hadn't watched it. That fucking centipede scene, man, fucks me up. It was not like, the thing is, you can see why Matrix was such a revolution back in the time, and the concept is really cool. It's really not a very deep film, but I was surprised at like how much I didn't really remember it in terms of like, wasn't anything special looking back now, but you can see why it was so good at the time. It reminds me of not having to use certain soldiers in MGS5 because one of the female VA's voice after Sprint is awful. Coughing Man. Is that when you like select them instead of Venom? Yeah, Metal Gear's gone bad because of fucking, what's that game? What was that game called? Survive is a load of shit. Imagine Tokyo Osaka, Fallout Tokyo Osaka. That'd be kind of cool. After the apocalypse. Do you think that anti-SJWs will die? I could have maybe said that a while ago, but it's weird because the quartering's only getting bigger. Their style of content is only getting bigger. The one thing I will say about anti-SJW content, especially from people who tell me my videos have kind of helped them go away from it, is it's so predictable and repetitive that I think it gets old for a lot of people after a while because they're saying the exact same shit again and again and again, with no real insight into any of it. So I think it is like not sustainable, but like obviously more and more people will have to watch it and then get through it and then come out the other side. Yeah, the enemy of the Pinkertons. Mike, I never heard Dutch speak about the Paris Commune, but that's cool. They also overthrow slavers in, Guarma. The film's not deep, but the references are. Yeah, it's basically just like a Greek myths, Jesus Christ style story, and like some cool sci-fi. Yeah, Osti the man. I mean, I don't think it's that good to watch both sides, because one side is about like speaking for the status quo and the powerful, the right wing. So I don't think like watching both is good, to be honest. Pick a side. Mosquito has been in my room for... I just can't kill it. It's been in my room for like so many days. Oh, okay. That's cool. I was actually kind of surprised they didn't mention like communism or Marxism at all in Red Dead, especially the gang. I really want to play Red Dead again though. Alright, I'll take a couple more questions if anyone's got them. And then I might head off. I gotta research my video for tomorrow. Katie, thanks so much. Katie, the sugar daddy strikes again. No, Katie, I appreciate your support so much. So nice of you. I gotta go sleep so I can work tomorrow morning. Adios, folks. Have a good rest of your week. Hopefully speak again some point. I want to stream on Thursday, even though I might be uploading. But yeah, have a good rest of your week. Hope work isn't too bad at the moment. The mayor of Strawberry mentions Tolstoyism. Okay, but not many people mention Marxism. I'm going to watch your amazing atheist video, and then I shall have questions. Yeah, hopefully get that out tomorrow. Alright, I've been streaming for a while now. Not sure how long. It's been chaotic, but fine. That's good. Glad to see it's getting a bit better. Get a lavender plant in your room and help against mosquitoes. To be honest, they're not that bad at the moment. I just have one, which is just flying around and really pissing me off. Alright. Alright, give you guys 2 minutes. Get in final questions. Streaming for quite a while now. So why is Caleb Mopin so infamous? Just because he's seen as like a nuts bowl? His channel's quite small. And his views aren't anything special. Vaush's views, like just as a tangent, Vaush's views on his channel are so fucking mental. I can't even comprehend it. Like, he gets at least like 200k a day. And I'm just like, that is just insane numbers. But the thing is as well with his content, he just like stream dumps stuff or like takes parts of his stream and he just talk about like random shit. Like he makes videos on really weird stuff sometimes, or like his videos are on really weird stuff. It's from stream clips. And it's just like so mad how like popular they are. Actually crazy. Mopin is just to make fun of. Okay. Anchor saying about anti-SJWs, that's what happened to me. I started watching channels like Jeremy's out of curiosity and later out of fascination, but I bored pretty quickly because it was always the same thing. Yeah, exactly. There's probably a copy of the Communist Manifesto I haven't seen in the game yet. I don't think so, but who knows. Should I get Legion or Valhalla next? Depends what you're really in the mood for. I love both. Valhalla is like better quality, I'd say. If you love history, Limbo, is it you who's been playing through the Assassin's Creed games in the gaming part of the Discord? So if you liked Origins or Odyssey, Valhalla's I think it's just a bit of an upgrade. It's a bit slower than Odyssey, but I prefer it. Watch Dogs is... Yeah, it's you. Okay. If you like that style of Assassin's Creed, Valhalla's very good, especially if you love the era, like Viking history. Watch Dogs is very cool. maybe a bit more simplistic if you're not going to buy into like the permadeath and utilizing the different kinds of characters you can find. It depends how you play. Like if you play Watch Dogs like I did, I don't think everyone would like that so much because it's a bit limited because of the characters' limitations. And I didn't really like to change them. But Valhalla is, you know, I'm hyped. The French DLC comes out in 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks. I've completed the main game. I completed the Irish DLC. I'm hyped for the Discovery Tour mode. So yeah, I recommend them both. Watch Dogs is a bit more like, I feel like when you play Valhalla, because it's so long, you really have to have these big gaming sessions, which you probably know from playing Origins. While Legion is a bit more play for like an hour and a bit. It's a way smaller game. It's meant to be replayable because they want people to do the permadeath mode. They're actually releasing an Assassin's Creed character for Legion who has a hidden blade. It's going to be expensive though, but that's pretty cool. Because Abstergo is the cool thing about Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed crossover is that Aiden Pierce literally kills a main character from the modern day bit of Assassin's Creed 4, which is like such a cool little crossover. Like you just kill this Abstergo executive when he comes to Chicago. But people saying Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, that is like a top game, like 10 out of 10. So good. Are you going to play next DLC for Valhalla? Yeah, for sure. I've already bought the season pass, so. Oh yeah, Far Cry is also, yeah, because Abstergo's in Far Cry 3 in one of the DLCs. Yeah, the Paris DLC I'm hyped for. I'm actually just got to the Paris bit on Vikings, which I need to watch again. I just need to finish Loki and Bad Batch, and I'll go back. Game devs, AAA devs have no respect for people's time. I see this argument a lot. To be honest, I like how long Assassin's Creed is. Like, I don't really give a shit people moaning about it. And Red Dead is fucking long, but I don't care. Like, I think people like to play low. The thing is, if I enjoy it, I want it to be long. Like, I enjoy Assassin's Creed, and I like the story, and I love the history in the world, so I want it to be long. I love Red Dead. I want it to be long. I like, you know, what's other big games? Cyberpunk. I wish Cyberpunk was even fucking longer. Witcher. I like it being long. Do you know what I mean? Because when you make a world that's so fun to explore, I like it being long. I'm trying to think of a game that's taken the piss of how long it is for what it is. I can't really think of it, but I've got a lot of patience, so I don't really mind. Ghost of Tsushima was nice and like compact, but I could have even done with a bit longer with that as well. Death Stranding, I think that was a good length. I don't want that to be longer. Yeah, I'm a teenager, nothing to do. I'll take a good game no matter the length. I mean, yeah, because I have a lot of more free time than the average person. Me too. The thing with I wrote it in my review of Valhalla on my Medium page if anyone wants to check it out. I think the point of these Assassin's Creed games, like the point of these Assassin's Creed games is Odyssey is meant to be like the Odyssey. It's meant to be fucking massive. It's like the whole of Greece. Assassin's Creed Origins is like the whole of Egypt. Valhalla is literally the whole, not the whole of England, nearly the whole of England. And you can go to fucking America and Norway, and then you can go to Ireland, and now you're going to be going to France, and maybe speculate maybe Russia later as well. No, Death Stranding was sick. I'm going to get the director's cut for sure. Oh yeah, just meow. Because they're political, people were happy they got beaten, basically. There's not really many fetch quests in Valhalla. They've completely changed the side quests. Pretty much got rid of them. Alright, I think I'll leave it there. I've been streaming for a while now. Thanks for that stream, it was fun. I was actually up for it for once. Sometimes I'm not up for streaming, it's quite tiring. So hopefully I'll get that Amazing Atheist video out. I want to talk about how someone who ran torture programs for Bush actually is in charge of stuff at Activision Blizzard. And maybe I'll react to the Vaush Charlie Kirk thing, but I'll try and make it like a wider commentary on critical race theory and stuff. But yeah, see you later, Red Leader. Thanks to the usuals for joining. Seeing a couple of new people as well, so I appreciate that. Forgot what fucking day it is. I forget it's Monday because I normally stream on a Tuesday, so I feel kind of weird. Streaming while I'm at work. Rude? Do you mean dude or? Appreciate it, Little Fox. I know you comment a lot on my stuff. I know you're a regular. Yeah, Activision is the fucking worst company. But yeah, look out for my videos this week, and I will probably stream again on Thursday. Perhaps maybe Wednesday if I want to upload on Thursday and Friday. I don't know yet. But yeah, see you guys later. Thanks for the donation. The people who donated. And if you missed this stream and you want to catch up, it's going to be on the second channel of Kavernacle Extra, hopefully by at least tomorrow. Sometimes it just takes fucking ages to download or some shit. Anyway, okay, I'll speak to people on Discord if they're chatting on Discord. But yeah, thanks so much, everyone, and see you later in the week for another stream.